Hey everybody, I'm Bill Walk. I'm a trial lawyer in Memphis at the Crone Law Firm, but I'm also a writer. Last year I wrote a novel called Holes in the Soles of His Gucci Loafers. It's a legal thriller set here in my hometown of Memphis, Tennessee, which I love very much. And people have asked me why I wrote this book. What got you to write Holes in the Soles of His Gucci Loafers? Well, it's interesting. As a trial lawyer, I've been doing this 33 years. And part of the charge of a trial lawyer, the essential charge of a trial lawyer, is to tell the stories of our clients. Every client has a different story. When they come to me, they're damaged, they're hurt, someone has been catastrophically injured or killed, and their story has to be told. And so for 33 years, I've been their voice. I go in front of jurors, I go to defense lawyers, I go to insurance companies, and I tell their stories. As a result, I've heard a lot of stories. I've told a lot of stories. People find many of those stories interesting. I go around and friends and family love to hear stories of what happened in court today or what was that case about. And so I've always been one of a raconteur in telling stories about what's going on. And so it's a very busy practice. I've got a wife, I've got 4 children, and so I've never really had much time to even put anything down to paper. But in 2020, during the pandemic, I suddenly was faced with a lot of free time. And so in the evenings, instead of watching the news, I'd get a nice glass of something and go to my study, and I just cracked open my laptop and I thought, I want to tell a story about how it really is to be a medical malpractice lawyer in Memphis. And so I wanted to tell one that was real, that the legal aspects of it were totally true, that another lawyer could pick up this book and read it and say, yeah, that's how it really happens. I wanted to give the behind the scenes. In fact, Holes in the Soles of the Gucci Loafers, the title in and of itself is a double meaning, in that we as trial lawyers, people perceive us as wealthy, prominent people who wear nice clothes and have fancy lives and go to dinners and dances and the like. And I wanted to show the other side of it. I wanted to show what it was really like. The holes in the shoes of the Gucci loafers is what I wanted to show. Both sides of it, of the pain, the anxiety. It was very difficult writing this book in many places because it was a very personal book. I tell many of the details in the story are biographical in nature. One of the characters is the main character's daughter, who is going through a long period of emotional problems. I had a daughter with very similar difficulties. And so it really called upon myself to try to speak the truth and let other people know who are going through problems. Look, you're not alone. We all have family members or trials and tribulations. No need to hide it. No need to stigmatize it. And so I thought that was important to do. The other thing is, I love my city. I love the city of Memphis, and most Memphians are very proud of our city. It's an exotic city. People look at it and it's got so much going on between the music, the food, the culture, the atmosphere. You know you're in Memphis when you're in Memphis. And it was really a quest to capture that. I wanted to get not only the sights and the sounds, but the smell of the barbecue coming out of the walls in which it wafts down Main Street here. I wanted you to feel what it was like to live in Memphis, the people, the culture. One of the biographical elements is that the character comes from the lower to middle classes, and he's had to try to inject himself into the upper classes of the Memphis legal establishment. Memphis legal establishment, much like society, is a kind of a walled-off enclave with old money and old names in Memphis, and it's not easy just to break your way in. It's not very accepting. And so it's the characters in this book, it's his quest to kind of be accepted by the mainstream, or not the mainstream, but the upper class. And, you know, he has his trials and tribulations, but he's also, as you will see if you read the book, there's a character in the book that keeps him grounded, one from his high school days who is not in the upper class, who's a tough guy from the hood, but ironically, he proves to be the most loyal friend of them all. So I really wanted to capture what it was like to be a lawyer in Memphis, to handle a major tort case, to handle family problems at the same time, to handle financial problems at the same time, how you're handling a corrupt system and how you're handling unexpected consequences or events that happen when you're not expecting it, the ups and downs, and just the darn right, it's fun. It's to hear the story. I also wanted to tell the story of the plaintiff in this case, a real life plaintiff, very similar to a case that I had, which was very real, where a young girl suffered brain damage, and it was her family's quest. And it was the stress and the responsibility that I, as a trial lawyer in this character field, felt in trying to be the voice of that plaintiff, and the stress and the responsibility that comes with it. So in all, it was a really cathartic experience. I'm so glad I did it. It was like nothing else I've ever done, and it really worked as therapy. It got me through the pandemic. I watched the news less and wrote more. And so all in all, it was a joy to do. And if you get a chance to read it, I hope you will, and I hope you'll enjoy it.